Thank you for taking my question. I'm from Argentina. And in the way you project that the Argentina GDP will fall to 2.8%, the same figure that it was projected in October that it will grow Argentina. Can you explain a little more why is that? And the second question, which is the annual projection for this year, the inflation rate projection? Sorry. Thank you.
And before we answer, there's another question on Argentina. This comes from AFP and basically says, as mentioned, inflation in the country is also so substantial that it's impacting the average inflation for all emerging and developing countries. Can you help us understand the main explanations for this revision? It is mostly technical.
Yeah, so let me say a few things about Argentina. So yes, we're seeing negative growth rate for Argentina in 2024, negative 2.8%. This is a very sizable a downward adjustment of about 5.5 percentage point compared to our October projections. And we're expecting that growth will resume in 2025 at about 5%. So there would be a fairly strong rebound in growth. And that's conditional on the delivery of the fiscal consolidation that is actually beginning to take place in the country under the new administration. Now, on the inflation side, the year-end inflation in Argentina are expected to be in excess of 200% in 2023, to 211%. And that's a very significant increase in the inflation rate in the region by almost 76 percentage point. And it's expected to come down. So, I mean, you know, this 211%, this is about, at this point, this is about close to 25% month on month increase in prices and inflation. But this is expected to come back down to a much lower monthly inflation rates in the single digits by the middle of this year, and so that the year-end inflation would be around 150% by the end of 2024, and then would be expected to decrease even further. So what we have here in Argentina, in terms of what the process that's driving inflation, is of course that we have very deteriorated initial conditions, if you want, where you had very rapid growth of the money supply, you had very important monetary financing of government spending, and that was fueling the inflation process. Now, the current administration is trying to bring along a very sizable fiscal consolidation. They're trying to get to 2% of GDP primary surplus in this current year in 2024, and that's about a 5 percentage point of GDP adjustment in the fiscal account. So it's a very sizable fiscal adjustment. And this is something that we consider is absolutely needed in the context of Argentina, because the root cause of the inflation process there is of course that there's been quite a bit of monetary financing. So for that monetary financing of the government to stop, the government accounts have to be consolidated and stabilized. So that's very important. At the same time, part of the current administration's efforts are to reduce a number of relative price distortions that were in place under the previous administration, and that has translated in a sharp depreciation of the currency. They devalued the peso, they've adjusted a number of price, they've removed a number of subsidies, or in the process of removing a number of subsidies. That in the short term is fueling inflation. This is why inflation is so high, because the currency depreciating and removing and some of the subsidies increase the price that is being paid for them. But that's also why it's expected to be coming down from these very sharp levels if that fiscal consolidation is put in place. Now, a major risk going forward is whether that fiscal consolidation can be implemented and implemented durably, so that the situation stabilizes in Argentina from a very deteriorated set of initial conditions.